Hey, what's up? I'm here with Eddy TM, which is obviously Eddie Temple Morris, a massive, massive fan. Unbelievable to actually finally meet you. The first time I checked you out was at Warriors Dance Festival, which was Prodigy, Pendulum, and various other bands of Shikari, and you were doing the sort of bits in between, the changeovers on the stage, and it was just amazing how you sort of like kept the flow of energy going. Is that, for you, is that kind of an easy thing that you find easy to do to keep sort of like the energy going in a room?
Well, it's nice of you to say so. Those gigs are kind of different to club. You know, when you say keep the energy going in a room, I kind of treat those like in between band sets different from clubs. And when you've got 60,000 people in front of you in Milton Keynes Bowl, it's kind of hard to read that crowd. So you just got to do what you do. And you know, when you're in between the bands, it's more about the band. It's more about like establishing a vibe that's going to help that band and not make it about yourself. I think you can be a bit more sort of egotistic about it when you're in a club, and you can sort of make it a bit more about you and be a bit more indulgent. But I think you've got to sort of keep your head on and be a bit more gracious and you know, not try to blow the band away, kind of thing.
Well, that's cool. Is that the biggest gig you've ever done? 60,000 at the Bowl. Is that by far one of the biggest things you've done?
I think that's the biggest gig that most people have done. That's 60,000 people. It doesn't get any bigger than that. I mean, that was the Prodigy's biggest ever headline show in Britain. So I think that's the biggest ever headline show, period. So you know, I've never seen a crowd bigger than that. That was incredible. And
was that your favourite gig of all time, or do you prefer to play smaller club venues?
Ooh, is that my favourite gig of all time? No, it wouldn't be my favourite. It was like I was incredibly honoured. It's one of my top gigs that I've ever played because of the size and because, you know, my mates, the Prodigy, specifically asked for me to do it, and I felt really deeply honoured for that. And for them to call me their favourite tour DJ, I could just get run over by a bus and be happy, you know. But I wouldn't say it was my favourite gig because, you know, I love connecting with a crowd, and that crowd was just too big to connect with. I sort of got a connection with the people that were sort of, you know, in front of me, but I was on right-hand side of the stage, so all of the people on the left-hand side I couldn't see, and most of the people like on the horizon, it was like a battlefield, you know. I couldn't eyeball them. So, you know, if you ask me what my favourite gigs, my absolute favourite gig was, it, you know, I'd probably pick just some little gig in a pub or something where everybody went completely crazy and was swinging off the chandeliers. And, you know, I mean, some people, you know, you said some really nice things about your reaction about that gig, and I'm sure that if there was a chandelier there, you would have swung on it.
Probably,
but, you know, it's hard to get feedback off a crowd of 60,000 people.
Is it easier to get feedback when you're doing, obviously you did the radio show, The Remix, on XFM. Is that easier for you? Do you find that better audience interaction then, because obviously you have like Twitter and Facebook and stuff, or...?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a different kind of connection and a different kind of communication. But there's nothing more immediate than being in a club like We Are Your Friends and eyeballing everybody on that dance floor and watching them go nuts when you drop something that they totally love. Yeah. You know, just to get that massive amount of feedback off, you know, like 1,000 people in a room is like, you know, you can't get that on radio. I mean, you get lots of people texting in sort of dribs and drabs, and I might get, you know, 1,000 people texting in over the course of a night or whatever, but, you know, 1,000 people going off at that same time is just, you know, it's staggering. It's a staggering feeling.
You obviously, as we touched upon earlier, you're a radio DJ, and as a radio DJ, how long? And obviously, as I said, you were doing the remix, which is where you basically play remixes for the whole show. How often and how often do you have to spend per day just scanning through everything and just trying to find? How do you find the best stuff? Does it take you a long time?
Well, obviously I get sent a lot of CDs and I get sent a lot of links and downloads and a Fat Drop and all of those great sort of listening services. So, it's just a matter of trying to stay on top of it. Every day I'll download a few, I'll listen to a few, and then I carve out the whole of Wednesdays. This is just how I do it. Yeah. I just block out always Wednesday. I just don't have any meetings, don't have anything, I just say no to everything. So just from 9 o'clock in the morning until 8 o'clock at night, I'm just listening and downloading and playing and just having a listen to all the stuff that gets sent to me. So and I do get, I've been doing the remix this is my 11th year, so they're all onto me. I get so much stuff, so it's a struggle to keep on top of it. And what suffers is, personal life, girlfriend, and my record collection. I can't listen to old tunes. They just disappear into my A to Z collection and never to be seen again until I go on holiday.
On the shuffle, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my god, I remember this.
Yeah,
it's like, 1993?
Yeah, exactly.
When you're not doing the remix or just spending forever in the radio, how do you relax? What do you do to take your mind off everything and just chill out?
I'm a massive cook. Love cooking. I'm a real foodie. And
what's your specialist dish?
Oh, that's like saying what's your best record?
Song?
Yeah, I can cook pretty much anything. I'm not a very good baker. That's too mathematical. I'm a bit more sort of creative than that. I can make anything out of anything. Okay. And I guess specialty. If you ask me, the specialty one would be probably Persian food, because I'm half Iranian, and most people can't cook Persian food and they don't know what it's like, and it's absolutely amazing.
What was it like when you first went to XFL? Obviously, you've been there 15 years now.
11.
11, sorry. Been there 11 years. That's me being dense for a second. You've been there for 11 years. How did you get into XFM? Because nowadays, we get to, being a journalism student, we get told there are so many different things you have to do, and then one person will say one thing, and then someone else will say another thing. Like for you, what was it that got you through the door of XFM?
Well, a combination of a good idea and a little bit of good luck. I had the idea for the show. I had the idea for a show called The Remix, which plays remixes of the tracks that are big in the daytime. So I just put down this idea onto one sheet of A4, The Remix, XFM, put a list of bands and tracks that I would be playing, and the vibe of the show, and sort of guests that I would get to do mixes. And at that time, my old friend Zane Lowe was who I discovered on a VHS cassette when I was at MTV, and helped him to become a household name. He at that point was at XFM doing a sort of late drive time show. So, and the music, the program director, quite rightly, thought that the sun shone out of Zane's arse. And so when Zane said, "Look, you've got to have a meeting with this guy," he taught me everything I know. The guy went, "Yeah, sure," and I met him, showed him the bit of paper, and he went, "Yeah, this is great. You should just." Don't need to do a pilot, because I'm, Zane. Zane says you're good, then you're good.
Oh, then, really cool.
And you've obviously got lots of TV experience and lots of radio experience. So why don't we pilot the show live? Claire Sturgis is going on holiday next week, so why don't you just get on for a couple of weeks and see? So I got on the air for 2 weeks in the middle of the night, and I persuaded a whole bunch of people to come in and do mixes and stuff like that. That first couple of weeks, and one of them was Soulwax. Doing their first ever. Nobody knew that they were DJs then. That was the first time that they ever did a mix on UK radio. This was before they were called Too Many DJs. They were just called the Flying Davala Brothers, and they blew everybody's mind and precipitated that whole kind of mad mash-up, like playing anything and everything in a set, and being really eclectic, and it just started an avalanche, Yeah.
2011, at the minute, we're obviously at the start of 2011, and there are a lot of news magazines and radios and all that kind of stuff that are doing at the minute shows, ones to watch out for. And it's always interesting to hear different DJs, what they honestly think are the people to watch out for in 2011. Temple Morris, who are your people to sort of watch out for?
Good question. I would say the things that I'm really excited about at the moment, Lodestar, who are Andy C's priority on Ram Records, I think are fantastic. They did a remix of Blind Faith by Chase and Status that was just amazing. It's like this incredibly sort of mature roller. And I talked to Chase and Status about it, and that's their favourite mix that's been done of that track, and I think probably, ever, of any of their tracks. And Lodestar have got a new single called Space Between, which you need to check out. It's like, it's like when I remember where I was when I first heard that Chase and Status tune with Plan B. What's it called? Pieces. Yeah. And it's kind of like that. It's one of those tunes that you think, oh my God, this is like a progressive rock tune or something like that, and then it just suddenly morphs into the most amazing drum and bass joint. So I'm going to be dropping that tonight. I think Dirty Phonics, another one in the drum and bass world. I've got this mix of really mediocre single by Tiny Temper and Ellie Goulding, but it's an incredible mix by these guys. What are they called? It's called Bare Noise with a Z.
I think, did you tweet that?
Yeah.
I can't stop listening to that one.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Where it just like builds up, then you just hear Eddie Goulding's voice that just drops.
Yeah,
it's like, oh my God.
Yeah, and you think it's going to be, and it starts off, you think it's going to be like a D&B roller, and then suddenly it goes into this like dubstep beat, and with this really tight kind of dubstep-inspired production, and it's kind of that lovely kind of Venn in the middle of the Venn diagram between drum and bass and dubstep, and it's right in the grey area. I always like grey areas, dance and rock, like dubstep and drum and bass and electro, whatever. I love the grey areas. That's what I've always been doing.
Genre-wise, do you ever feel things like indies getting diluted and dubstep's getting diluted? I mean, was it Rusko producing Britney Spears' new single?
I think dilution is great. Absolutely. I think that, dilution is a negative way of looking at it. I just say it's development. It's it's like it's evolution is exactly what it is. And I hate it. I hate all those stick in the muds that go, so and so is not a dubstep producer. So and so it's got to be like bleepy and it's got to have a whatever. No. The way that things get better, the way that things improve, the way that we get bigger and better and faster and stronger is by evolution.
Nice
and oh yeah, I didn't even mean that. Sorry, forgive the Daft Punk related pun there.
That's all good. Well, thank you very much for chatting to me, and I honestly wish you the best of luck tonight. Not that you're going to need it, because I'm sure it's going to be absolutely amazing.
This is my favourite night in England, I think, and I never fail to have a fantastic time here. So it's the Mystery Jets' loss is my gain.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much. That's it from us, and we'll catch you soon.